15 is business from the Council President, and sort of become my custom lately to try to bring issues before the public that are sometimes floating out at the national and the local levels without a lot of input. The biggest problem that we see in a lot of these things, and people have heard the comments of fake news and other issues like that, one that's before everybody's radar is climate change. And but few people are invested in the effort to actually investigate what the research is on climate change. The real change in the climate is a result of the sunspots on the sun, and the frequency of those explosions of sunspots and the actual amount of heat that reaches the earth warms the water in the oceans. And that's why when we have the oscillation of warm parts of the ocean, for example, Scotland, which is northern by latitude above Maine, is warm all year round because of the flow of ocean currents that are carrying the warm water past Scotland and heating up that part of the environment. They didn't have automobiles in 1440, and we didn't have industries with smokestacks in 1440, but those climate changes occur over millennium, hundreds of thousands of times through the creation of the earth, and have very little to do with the explosion of carbon dioxide or other pollutants into the air.
My name is Tracey Waite, and I'm the president of Harford County Climate Action, and I'm speaking on behalf of the organization. It is a 501c3 recognized by the state of Maryland. President Slutzky, I read in last week's Aegis that you said that few people are really invested in the effort to investigate the research on climate change. I am one of those people. I have brought along just a portion of the books that I've read on this subject in the last few years. The members of Harford County Climate Action are also citizens who have been invested in learning about this subject and what they can do to combat the problem. But this isn't just about me, a single Harford County resident, or the rest of us who have done their homework. It's about the 98% of the experts in this field, or 97% of the experts in this field versus a minority of 3%, as our last speaker referenced. 97% believe that climate change is happening and that the strongest causation is human activities such as deforestation, not properly managing refrigerants, burning fossil fuels, and a diet that relies too heavily on meats raised in confined animal feeding operations. What kind of arrogance does it take to think that conclusions drawn from internet research is equal to that of individuals who have earned higher degrees and spent careers in climate science? What kind of arrogance allows anyone to say that they know more than 97% of current specialists in this field? The very first person that I looked up today, who is among the 3% of scientists who believe that climate change is not caused by human activity, was Wei Hak Willie Soon, a Malaysian aerospace engineer who is currently a part-time researcher at the Solar and Stellar Physics Division of the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics. Sounds good, right? Soon is a climate change denier. He contends that global warming is caused by solar variation rather than by human activity. Climate scientists have strongly refuted Soon's arguments, and the Smithsonian does not support his conclusions. He is nonetheless frequently cited by politicians opposed to climate change legislation. As of 2015, Soon had received over $1.2 million from the fossil fuel industry, while failing to disclose the conflict of interest in most of his work. President Slutzky, you have the respect of many in this county for years of teaching, coaching, and public service. And so it is particularly damaging for you to misuse the bully pulpit that you have as president of this council, urging citizens to not worry about climate change and to believe that humans have no role, and therefore no responsibility for taking action, is as irresponsible as it would be for you to urge people to not heed a fire alarm when you are personally unsure if it is a drill or real. We didn't win World War II by pretending that the threat posed by the Germans didn't exist. Let's not fall trap to pretending that the threat posed by climate change doesn't exist. Sticking our heads in the sand, blaming the United Nations, won't get us anywhere. I volunteer to assist the Council to bring in true, unbiased experts on this subject. And I volunteer to partner with you in creating Harford County's own climate action plan. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.